Welcome to another episode of the Cannabis Coffee Crew, where the coffee is strong, the cannabis is smooth, and the conversations are out of this world.
Full squad in the house. I lower the boom when I do the cipher dance. When it's just Aggie Pants as I romance the blast. I take puffs on stuff, rough enough to give a buzz to my guns, even though we don't touch the stuff. See this blood in my foot, some say my stink. But yo, the skunk helps me think.
Hey everyone, this is Pandar, wishing you another happy Friday. Today, we have with us myself, Nuke, and Folt. Nuke, how you feeling today?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I had me a gummy a little bit ago, a strawberry pineapple little THCA gummy, and I'm starting to feel it now.
Hell
it's
yeah.
it's
Nice.
500 milligrams, and it is a fucking kicker. So,
I need to get your hookup on that. What gummies are good?
it's the vape store.
Yeah, I just don't know much about the gummies.
Oh,
as much.
okay. Yeah.
I just aimlessly eat them until I fall asleep.
I
I'm not good
heard
at
that.
dosing.
Do you know what milligrams you usually take?
No, it changes every single time I buy them. I'm just like,
Oh.
those look like they might taste good. Give me those. And then I eat one, test it, and then I'm like, I could eat another one until I get to the point where I'm asleep. Yeah. It's normally how it works.
Hey man, do you boo boo?
Well, it says the man sleeping in his chair.
I know it. I know. I feel so bad about that.
That's funny.
But how you doing today, Kev? How you, man?
Good. I'm doing pretty well. Just trying to get this friggin' book out the door, but the holidays and all that stuff. And then of course, along with the holidays, and today being New Year's, we can
Eve.
cut that. But oh yeah, good call.
Yeah, New
You're
Year's
right.
Eve.
Yeah, the fireworks are tonight. They didn't happen last night. You're 100% correct. I'm just living in the future, I think.
Always.
No, but I'm feeling good. We just need to get the finalizations done on our book and get it out the door so we can officially be proud and officially call ourselves authors. But
I heard that, man.
I'm smoking on some whatever the hell
Tell me it's Great Pie
is giving me. No, the Great Pie Ho is I think over by bed somewhere. And I'm drinking my balls drink, which if nobody knows,
Ayo.
it's BAWLS, but is a caffeinated guarana soda, which is delicious. Anywho, enough about me. How you doing today, Pandar?
I'm doing great. As you said, it's New Year's Eve as we're recording. ... Ha ha ha. And we're celebrating our oldest kid turning 15. Holy crap, we have a 15-year-old. I'm not old. Leave me alone. I'm not crying. I'm crying.
Yeah,
It's
You're not old.
crazy.
it's difficult when they get old, man. Me and Kat, like, she has a 17-year-old. So,
Yeah.
Yikes.
yeah.
I'm not
So
ready.
we deal with that.
I'm not ready.
Nope. But another reason it's special today is we have a special guest. Hey, Bat, my little brother, who thinks he's bigger just because he's taller, but he's in fact younger. How you feeling today, Shane?
I'm pretty good. Just woke up. Back's hurting.
Ouchies.
That's always good.
Yeah, well, when you have a child that likes to sleep in your back.
Well,
Hey,
pain lets you
pain
know
lets
you're
you know
alive. Jinx.
Yeah.
I'll take a Pepsi, please. Do not give me a Coke.
I'll take a Miller Lite, please.
I'll take my vape back, please.
But man, so we have. What did we get into today, guys? Like, what are we talking about?
I know there's something I think Nuke is excited to talk about.
What you got, Nuke?
It's not that I'm excited to talk about. It bums me out. Because as everyone probably knows, we lost our 39th president recently, Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
And while Jimmy Carter wasn't the best of presidents, I still like him a lot because he was a nuclear officer in the Navy,
Hmm.
and I was a nuclear mechanic, so he would have been like over me. And I just thought it was really cool. He was a good dude. He did a lot of charity work. He did a lot of things for homeless people and giving back to the community. And I just wanted to take a minute to kind of, you know, talk about him and
Well, and
show him some respect.
yeah, and being a nuke officer, I mean, he had to be relatively intelligent, right? You
Yes.
have certain tests you have to pass. He also, I saw briefly in news this morning. I guess during his presidency, he was one of the few presidents that like super bonded with China. He had a really good relationship with the leader at the time. Um,
Okay.
which is wild because like I think all the stuff happening today wouldn't in fact be happening if we had better foreign relations with China. I think a lot of the ramifications of what we're seeing is a byproduct of actually the quite the opposite, right? A lot of the last presidents have been, I guess, a little more ostracizing of.
Yeah.
I mean, he did win the Nobel Peace Prize in 2002 for his
Yes.
decades of work to promote peace and
Mhm.
alleviate suffering.
Yes.
Nice.
Absolutely. He was a big human rights guy.
Advocate.
So we need
Yeah.
more people like him, essentially.
No,
Less people.
absolutely.
Less people like the Bidens that can't
And you
remember anything.
and he went from just being like a peanut farmer in Georgia to eventually being like state congressman and then governor and then went on to be president. I mean, he wasn't even deep in politics all of his life.
And it's showing like he was a prominent advocate with for affordable housing, and after presidency worked with Habitat for Humanity, personally
Hmm.
participating in building homes.
Hmm.
Yeah. And not only that, he was a big time author as well. He wrote a crap ton of books.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I find that very intriguing because I've often thought that the best presidents would be those not born into politics.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we need people in presidency that have lived actual life
Yeah.
before they take presidency.
Well, not only that, but that kind of man, if you will, is not corruptible. Whereas many of the more recent political faces have an entire backing and history in politics,
Right.
and in my opinion, are a lot more corruptible. When you have somebody who doesn't give a shit about politics trying to corrupt them to say and do things on your behalf to make things sound one way or the other, they're not going to play that game,
Yeah.
right? Um, I don't know, and I don't think a TV show personality is honestly any better. I wish we'd go back to our roots and yeah, make farmers presidents.
He's so good with money. How many times has he filed for bankruptcy?
I don't know, but it's not
Yeah,
about
but you
him.
gotta
It's about,
lose money to make money sometimes.
Yeah,
Not that
bullshit.
much.
well, it's easy to make money when you have money. So,
Sad.
anywho, no, back to
Well,
Jimmy
rest in
Carter.
peace, Jimmy. That's
Yes, I hope there's more people in the future like him that hopefully pursue presidency, even if they were born into being a peanut farmer.
Yep.
I mean, I find that
hello, George Washington.
I find that to be much more relatable. And I think that a lot of Americans, I think they would side with those people over politicians. You can see the deceit on a politician's face, man. You can tell
Hmm.
they're not honest people. Yet we keep electing them because that that's all there is for options.
Yeah.
Can we just go back to the farms and be like, man, you're well versed. You want to get up and talk about your opinions and
I will say though, it does take a lot more knowledge of worldly stuff as well to being president because you have to keep so much peace. That's the shitty thing about being the country we are. While we shouldn't get into a lot of the areas that we do overseas, we still need to help out like Carter did, where he focused on human rights, but not just human rights for America, but human
Right.
rights for everybody.
That's because we're the
Right.
world
I
police, bro.
I think Jimmy Carter had an analytical brain and he had a kind soul. And I think that's what needs to run the general populace is an analytical brain that will weigh the pros and cons, the trade-offs if you will understand them, but also has a kind soul so that that analytical brain doesn't just get misused to make people work more or what have you for the betterment of business, but instead gets used for the betterment of people. It sounds like that's what he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, only an analytical brain would go from something like peanut farming to want to try and solve world hunger, right?
Right.
Something eating at your brain, constantly trying to understand how to make those things possible.
Sounds like
I
someone I
think
know.
we I think we have too many people. Yeah, but I also said a kind soul, so
You're a kind soul. Don't
yes,
even.
yes and no. I can be really petty.
We
Um,
all
Who
can.
can't, bro?
I mean, agreed.
No,
You,
you
But
have a really good soul, and if it's someone you care for and love for, you stay right by them. But the moment someone fucks you over, you don't care who they are, blood or not, they're done. If they have fucked you over, then yeah, no.
I'm
It's
just
not.
saying,
yeah,
there, there's a bitch downstairs, and I mean, she gives us nasty looks all the time, talks trash, lets her dog shit right out in front of our apartment, and she'll bitch whenever somebody takes the parking spot right in front of her apartment.
hmm
They're not assigned, are they?
No, they're not assigned. And
That's funny.
I'm so petty. I will park backwards in the parking spot in the truck where it goes almost all the way to her door,
Oh
and
my
I'll park
god.
it.
Oh my god.
I
That's
mean, if
funny.
I was her, I'd putting my trash bags in the back of your truck. But
See, I'm on the
I
same
don't
level of
know.
pettiness though.
Yeah, we're related. I know you're petty.
The
It's
people
a
my
code.
apartment complex hate my car for being loud, so I made it louder.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I mean, that's humans, man. If and the funny part is, if you guys actually like interfaced under a different premise first, like you had a distant cousin who was somehow partially related, and y'all ended up bumping into each other at a birthday party, and you had a nice exchange of words, a little bit of alcohol, and then y'all played games and stuff with the kids. So you didn't really interface with them much, but there was a good initial thing. But both of these things would be entirely different because you would have just gone downstairs and been like, "What's going on? You all right?"
Why you mad?
I don't know why you're acting like this. I'll try not to rev my car when I'm coming into the neighborhood, but I can't help that my exhaust is loud.
Yeah,
And
once
then
you
it would
start
have
putting shit
died
on my
right
car.
there.
Yeah, that's my thing. Me and my friend, because he's got a red 370Z, and it's loud too. And it's what we were talking about. If the person would have just came up and asked us like, "Hey, your cars are kind of loud. Can y'all keep it down?" I can put my car in a quiet mode because I have an active exhaust on it,
Mhm.
and I would have been like, "Yeah, I can do that." But when you want to start putting shit on my car, I'm just gonna get more petty.
But I think a lot of pettiness though comes from like our self-isolation that we
Yeah.
do nowadays. Like people are less communicative with the
Personable.
people around them.
Right. No one wants
Yeah.
to have a face to face conversation. They just want to be a keyboard warrior and be big and
Right.
bad and
So
anonymous.
everything in your brain is like, "Oh, she's mad at me cuz my car's loud." But it could be that your car woke up her baby in the middle of the night I'm just saying,
And it was her
could
first
be,
night of sleep and like
Yeah, well,
his
I
and
would
but
agree with y'all if there was actually a fucking baby down here.
I know what
I
you're saying, but it's like
I'm talking speculatively.
right.
I'm saying that understanding another person's perspective and where they're coming from oftentimes alleviates that tension
Mhm.
between two people. And when we don't have those
Ooh,
that communication, which
hold on, I
we're
got
starting
something
to
for you.
lose, then well, let me finish this thought.
You're good.
Then those things escalate. Like maybe that lady gets so upset, Nuke, because maybe she's got some debilitating pain or something, and it really sucks to walk from across the street to her apartment. Or
She
maybe that's not true. But go ahead. Sorry.
she is a fit young lady who is showing no signs of that.
Right. So we're
She's just
presuming.
bit yeah, she's just bitched about it, not like, "Oh, I'm hurting, they need to move their shit." It was more like, "I don't understand why people have to park in front of my place."
I get it. And it could be that maybe she's just disgruntled because of other things in her life. But normally, the old grumpy man that you kind of get why he's old and grumpy, you let bygones be bygones. And the pettiness doesn't build. That's all I'm saying. I was trying to like
Oh,
arrive at
okay.
why I think all of us on the call, right, given certain circumstances, can be very
Yeah,
petty.
we'll jump to reactions before taking that's a human nature.
But what's
Mhm.
funny is every situation described has been this other individual who I've not interfaced with, and I'm projecting my thoughts of what I believe to be the cause of why they are the way they are, right? Instead of understanding them.
Ah,
It's
well,
interesting.
And sometimes
I
at the end of the
understand
day,
this
they could be
person really
just
well.
assholes.
Yeah,
I,
That's
this
the
is
the
thing.
the
true.
reason
It
why I
could
can
be.
understand this person really well is because they duct taped a note to my car. Would you like me
Duct
to read it
tape?
to you?
Not if it's inappropriate for a
It's
podcast.
not inappropriate.
Okay, I just wanted to
But
check.
they typed it on a keyboard, the very top, bold capitalized letter, loud, loud, loud. Your shiny new car's exhaust pipes are rattling all the apartments when you back into park. It's time for you to be more considerate. They don't know how to spell considerate. And stop blasting our apartments at all hours of the day. Mind you, this was like not even a month after I got the apartment and the car.
Okay.
Hmm.
And I was only going to work. I was leaving the apartment like 2 times a day, so I'd go to work, come back, and then later in the evening I'd go get something to eat and then come back, and that was it.
Yeah.
But that's why I know that they're bitching just because our cars are loud. Because they duct taped the notes to my car, my friend's car,
Yeah.
and that's how our friendship started right there.
I mean, that's good. You have a bonding experience. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it was
But
pretty funny.
so perhaps they're grumpy and disgruntled because they would prefer to live out in the woods and not hear
Hmm.
cars,
I don't blame them. I'd like to live out
bass.
in the woods too.
Because I'm sure you're not the only person that frustrates them. There are probably other people that have been eating at, like, to use the term, like getting under their skin with playing loud music, whatever. And I get it. It can be frustrating and annoying. It can be. Dude, in our HOA, where we moved away from, people were complaining that they could hear people playing basketball, but they had their
Oh
home built next to the community center basketball court.
no.
Yeah, they're like people are playing music during the day at the basketball courts.
Dude, I
People
do
are
not
having
like
fun at the
HOAs.
basketball courts and being loud.
No, but this wasn't the HOA. This was the people who purchased the home. Mind you,
Bitching,
when
thinking
You
the
you
get to
HOA is going to
choose
do
your
something
lot.
about it.
You get to choose
yeah,
your lot.
you get to choose your lot. They give you a big fucking map. They tell you this is where this is going to be placed. Are you sure there's no problems with this? Because
Because I
they
picked our
asked us.
lot off of two
Uh-huh.
things: the distance from the pool, so we didn't have to walk far, and it being a cul-de-sac.
Yep. But she had that, or not she, the individuals. I don't know if it was a couple or what have you. I never really got into any of those squabbles, or
No, I
I
would
just
sit
heard
there
about
and
them.
give Kevin the tea every time, like, "Ooh, hoo, hoo, you want to see what's on the Facebook page?"
Yeah.
Because I
Um,
was in the HOA.
but
Ah,
almost weekly, dude, it was complaints about hearing sound from the community basketball court where people are outside dribbling a basketball and listening to music and playing a game. But the sounds of joy and
Yeah,
fun can be irritating and frustrating to those not partaking in the joys and fun. If that person that doesn't like your exhaust was driving your car, they would love its exhaust.
bro.
But
How do
because
you?
they're sitting in their home and you're arriving home, it's an inconvenience for them. So they dislike it. But if it was their car and things were reversed, it would probably annoy you and they would love it. It's just one of those things, man. People, it's almost like some kind of variation of FOMO, but when people are missing out, they're mad that other people are having fun.
oh yeah, I get mad when I hear a car blasting down I-20, and I'm like, motherfuckers are having fun, and I'm not there to enjoy it.
Dude, the other night, it was probably about a week ago. Music was coming from our neighbor's
Blasting.
backyard. Okay. And
It was 11. It was after quiet time.
it was after the noise ordinance
My
and it
old
was
lady
still
came through.
going. Yes. And then we looked at each other and we're like, we're getting old
Mm.
because we heard music, which meant people were having a good time. Okay. It wasn't like gunshots or anything. Like people were just having a
Just
good
talking a
time.
little loudly.
And it
And
was annoying us
yeah,
because we wanted to lay in our bed and have quiet. So I can understand both sides.
I
I
had just put the
can.
kids to bed. I was done.
Right. But I'm just saying, I can understand both sides. And there are people who are just grumpy because life has given them a bowl of shit. And they're just
Without
grumpy
any milk.
people. That's true too. But as you get older, I think you'll start to understand those people more and more.
That's what I feel. I've understood more and more the more I get older, and I hate saying it, but all these sayings that I've heard as a kid that I'm like, ha ha ha, you're old and dumb, you don't know. And it's all coming true. Like the biggest one I was talking to Kevin last night about is how fast time goes as soon as you're parent. Like I feel like when we were teenagers, when we were kids, like time was slow as fuck. It felt like it was taking forever to grow up, to become adults.
Yep.
And then 15 years ago, today marks the day where I feel like time has just flown.
Hmm.
It was yesterday that Reese still had a binky in her mouth. I didn't have 4 kids. Like, what the fuck?
I got a question though. And then we'll let Shane get back to the thing that he had an epiphany on. Nuke, have you caught yourself developing grumpy old man syndrome? Have you like said something and then went,
Oh
wait a second?
man, I'm getting old.
Yeah.
Other than the grunting when I get out of the chair.
I mean, that's
But
part of
no,
it.
I'm pretty young in my mind.
We
Like,
all are young in our mind. That's the
Dude, my kid
problem.
will
We
wake
laugh at
up and
farts.
my kid will wake up and want to get on the computer. And I, as a child, was the same way. But
yeah.
now I'm like, but has she done her chores? Has she washed her face? Has she brushed her teeth and done everything she needs to do to get ready for the day? She's not allowed to touch electronics until she's ready
Is
for the day.
is
Like,
that
I don't
really
know.
old man syndrome or just responsibility?
I mean, a little bit of parenting, but I've also lost some of my childhood perspective because my childhood perspective was like, yeah, let's game. And I try to let those things surface in responsible ways with my kids, but it's hard.
I know what you're talking about because I do the same thing with Marley now that she's getting more into playing games like on the PlayStation and on the Switch and stuff like that. I make her do something before she can get on it, whether that be like
During
cleaning
the
up her
summer,
room,
yeah,
picking
during
up
the
her
summer, we do
clothes.
reading.
Yep.
The kids have to read, like, depending on age, is their timing on how long they have to read before they're allowed to go play electronics.
Some kind of other habit to exercise their brain before they dive in.
And I mean, it's just, yeah.
I
As you
will
get
tell you
older,
though,
you're more responsible.
I'm
Yeah.
super glad we made the podcast because in a few years, I wonder if I'm gonna just get more disgruntled and more grumpy.
Oh, I'm
Probably.
sure.
I think we should make that what is it, Griffin from Family Guy or whatever, where he's like, that really grinds my gears. We should make
Yeah.
a
You
Yeah,
know what really
variation
where
of that.
grinds
where
my
he's on the
gears?
Yeah.
newscast.
Yeah. I think we should make a variation of that for like weekly episodes.
You know what really grumps my grumpiness? That's copywritten, folks. Already done.
I mean, it's
Shut your
not,
mouth.
but
It's copywritten now. See?
that's my IP. That's
Copywriting.
my intellectual property. Anyway, dude, when we're all a hive mind, the intellectual
Oh shit, I
property
was
won't
actually
matter.
typing. Delete. Sorry.
This is why we don't just randomly hit our keyboards.
It's too good, this DOS keyboard. I like barely touched.
No, but I'm glad we have like this time capture, and that as time progresses, we can hear how we change. Because you don't feel it. It's like gaining weight and losing weight. Like you don't really you'll notice like, oh man, I've gained weight.
But it takes months to actually see the
Yeah,
change.
it's interesting. And even when you're losing weight, it feels like it takes forever for the transformation to happen.
No, like
It's just an
100%.
interesting
Yes.
human
Because, like, while we
phenomenon.
were going through me being pregnant, we would gain and lose weight together.
Mhm.
But I never, we in my brain looked the same the whole time. But then when I go through pictures and we're like, oh my God, oh wow, we look completely different. Holy shit. But in my brain, we've just looked exactly like we look right now
Yeah.
since we were 16 and 19.
I think that's love. I think that's what love means. Because I do not at all look like younger me.
I mean, ditto. I don't look like me. I ain't got no hoops in.
I mean,
I
that's not
ain't,
true.
I ain't got no hoops in.
No, of us, you look much younger. That's why we always get weird looks when we go in the store. Even though our age isn't that far off, I just have like a 2 foot long beard and you're next to me and people are like, oh Lord.
He's a creep.
Yeah, but our ages aren't that far off. I mean, I ignore the looks, but we definitely get looks when we go places.
I get carded fucking everywhere still. And they look at Kevin, they're like, yeah, you good.
No, they'll just be like year 86. Okay.
But if I've got all the kids with me, I don't get
You still
carded.
get carded, Nuke?
No, no. The last time I got carded, I was living in Virginia, so it was last year. And when they carded me, they looked at it and was like, "Oh, I thought you were older." And
Dang.
I was like, "All right, well, fuck me."
No, I mean, I still get comments that people are like, oh my God, you have 4 kids. Wow, you have a fifth, like you have a teenager. You look too young. You look too young. And I'll
Well,
appreciate it for now.
when you like dress up and stuff when we're at the music festivals, I guess you still have that sort of like early 2000s style. So it
I'm a
makes you
90s
maybe
baby. Let's go.
yeah, but it makes you seem younger. Like you wear clothing that makes you seem younger.
It's 'cause
So
I'm young and spry.
maybe that's what it. I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
know.
still stuck in the 2000s, man.
Yep. Shane, you get carded?
all the time.
Yeah, I was like, he's got a
Wonder
baby
why.
face too.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Our
Um,
mom did as well. Like, she
I don't know. It's kind of weird
had a
because
baby
before I
face.
was like 18 years old when you were used to buy when you could buy tobacco when you're 18. So I was like 15, 16. I was buying tobacco without a problem, and then I
Yeah,
turned
which
18.
gas stations were you at though?
I was like, yeah, there were certain ones. We had the
Uh-huh.
Sitco off of
Uh,
Lynnhaven. No, it was near
I used to
Lynnhaven
work at
Mall. What's that
I
road?
used to work at Chick-fil-A, and there's a Shell station right next to it. So I used to go to that one, and then there was another gas station I used to go to all the time, and they never carded me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
I remember now. Is the Sitco off of Virginia Beach Boulevard right before Lynnhaven? That's the one where we leave First
We'll
Colonial High
say
School
that
and go get
at
cigarettes.
least the ones that we targeted for that were the ones that were run by people who didn't speak English as a first language.
Yeah,
Those are the ones that always let us slide,
Yeah.
so to speak. And
because
I
we'd
know
roll up
Virginia, though, went through a huge crackdown on all that stuff, and a lot of different places got in trouble.
and shout out to Easy Mart where I used to be able to get my blunts
You're
on the
so
corner
funny.
of Bird Neck and Virginia Beach Boulevard. Let's go. I'm pretty sure it's closed down now.
Oh, I'm like, dang.
Pops, I think the dude, I don't remember his actual name. That's what we all called him for since I was a toddler. But yeah, no, it was actually really weird. I was like 6 or something. And Pop and Granny would call Pops up at the Easy Mart and be like, hey, she's on her way up. Can you give her our smokes? 6-year-old Amanda walking down Virginia Beach Boulevard, mind you, which is a very fucking busy street.
Let me ask you a question. 6-year-old Amanda, though, brought home the cigarettes. She didn't open the
No,
pack.
I didn't touch him. I just brought him home
And as
because I
much
got
as you
candy.
shouldn't have had possession of said cigarettes, that's what trust is. And like, I don't necessarily see anything horribly wrong with it. The child knew she wasn't supposed to open them. She was to bring them home, and for her trouble, she could get a pack of candy or something from the Easy Mart.
Yeah.
Those are the good old days, man. I wish the world ran a little bit more like that, just because it's more freeing and outgoing. And like, just because a child can hold a pack of cigarettes and move it from point A to point B, as long as it's instilled in her that those are for adults, those are bad for her, that she did what was asked of her, she developed trust because of it. I'm just saying, there's a
I mean,
lot of
that's a fact.
positivity that comes from an experience like that. As a child, you felt trusted to bring home the thing, and you felt special because you got to get candy.
Oh, yeah, I got to walk alone to the store. I was all big and bad, hidey tidy. Let's go.
Yeah, I kind of wish the world was a little bit more
Me as a
like that.
parent, my kids
I
walking,
know,
nobody. No, no,
I know.
no.
Well, it's because the world's kind of a different place. Um, I
Kind
don't
of.
know. Yeah,
World sucks.
I mean, I wasn't gonna go all the way down the rabbit hole, but yeah, it's a all you read about online is all of the horrors. I mean, the government controls the weather. Like we go all the way up there to what is it? Natural disasters being started with what are
By the
these
government,
weapons?
DEWs, yeah.
Yeah, directed energy weapons, DEWs.
The pigeons.
Pigeons,
What about the
Yeah.
pigeons?
They're spying on us every day.
maybe.
Oh,
Good thing we have microwave guns. Now, I mean, people thought like wildfires or something were started by directed energy weapons, and then at least what appeared to be to me almost looked a little doctored like the beam, but the different images were from uh I don't know, different locations or something. So
yeah,
I don't think that's real. But in that rabbit hole, I did find out real ones that exist, which I thought was kind of cool.
yeah.
Um yeah, trying to actually find them again. Where did they go?
Right there. Pinch me. I see him on my screen.
No, gone.
Look at my screen.
They're
Right there.
gone. There it is.
But I'm like, they're right there.
I was getting there. The active denial system. Do you know about this one, Nuke? It was Air Force, so you probably didn't use it on anyone.
What was that?
The Air Force has a weapon called the ADS, the active denial system,
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking
which,
at my screen share, I've got it open.
yeah, but it emits ADS, or the ADS emits millimeter waves that penetrate the skin surface, causing intense burning sensation without leaving permanent damage.
Oh, where?
So it is used for crowd control or probably ensuring that an area remains clear if there's like hostile human threats or people protesting. Like you can, I don't know. There's got to be something to it. Like people don't make things without side effects. It says
Yeah,
it doesn't cause permanent damage, but it might
dude.
cause cancer,
When we were
right?
looking
Like
this up, it made me start thinking about what if this, like, you hear stories about people spontaneously combusting. What if this was testing for that shit?
maybe possible.
Maybe.
But there is another weapon that is supposed to be deployed in 2027 called the Dragonfire laser, which was developed in the UK, but it is designed for engaging aerial and surface targets with precision from naval vessels. So it is a boat mounted laser beam.
That's freaking
That
crazy,
sounds
dude.
pretty cool.
Yes and no. Like, yes, it's very fascinating and very cool in that sense, but probably not great for the future. And then there's the Thor, which it says it's designed to disrupt electronics, but it shoots microwave bursts in a targeted direction. So if you had living things in the way of that, you could harm them. Microwaves can cause water molecules to rapidly heat.
Yeah, I'm
So
just
they
saying,
could
Thor.
literally light you on fire with all the moisture in your own body using that weapon.
Yeah, Thor combined with the ADS.
They're probably cousins of one another. They probably use very similar technology.
They are spontaneously combusting humans. Quote me.
It's possible. Did you know that they have rifles for taking down drones? Like electronic rifles that shoot
Yeah, I've
microwaves?
seen those before.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
The Russian Stupor and the Ukrainian KVS G6, they emit electromagnetic pulses that disrupt the control and navigation systems of drones, causing them to crash. But they look like rifles with like they almost look like weird things you would find in a sex dungeon of somebody.
Yeah.
Like they look a little horrifying, but
It's horrifying. Oh my god.
that's why I said they look horrifying. But they will. I mean, actually, you could point it at somebody's car and probably fry it too. So I'm assuming you can't buy them.
Yeah, all these newer cars, man. All running off the electronics and stuff.
I mean, yeah, and any car with an actual CPU, right? You'd have to go back pretty far to find one without one. Uh, and as time progresses, they're just dying in junkyards all over the world.
That they are.
Uh, but mechanical things were, I don't know, as much as I've spent a lot of times in like a lot of time dealing with and learning electronics, learning programming and the development of practices of software, etc. I think mechanical things are better. In certain instances, mechanical things are just more resilient. Does that make sense? No one here?
Sorry, I'm looking at this anti-drone rifle
Oh,
picture still. I'm just reading the description of it.
yeah.
I was just pausing to make it awkward.
That's rude. That's rude. Nah, but mechanical things are just better. Sometimes
They
you can
are.
just hit them and they start working again.
Yeah, like a starter on a car.
But if you kick the shit out of a computer, that's not going to fix it. I promise you. It's not the answer.
I've tried that once on a monitor.
How did it work out?
If it fought back and hurt me.
Was it a CRT monitor?
I have no idea what kind of monitor it was, but I most definitely done something to my heel that I shouldn't have.
So like flat screen monitors are a little less dangerous, but the old school CRT
And
monitors,
Oh no, it wasn't the old school one. It was a newer one. It didn't work, and I stomped on it one day.
I threw my monitor in a trash can and we stood back and holy crap. It sounded just a loud boom and the whole trash can like jumped. And we were like, holy crap. Good thing we didn't throw that like on the ground. That would have sucked. Um, so yeah, no, the old school CRT monitors, I actually really liked them because I liked that they were big and heavy. There's something about it. Maybe that's why I like heavy mechanical keyboards and stuff too and mice. I don't like things that don't feel like they have substance. Does that make
That's
sense?
why you like thick thighs. I get it.
Yeah,
hey, thick thighs
substance.
save lives.
Yeah.
We're
I
almost
mean,
a
could also
mermaid.
take them too, but
I'm just saying we're one step closer to being a mermaid.
nah, but eh, substance. Like when I grab a controller, play a game, or a keyboard to type on it, if it's not well built and it doesn't
Same,
feel solid, I don't like it.
same.
If that's that new Razer Viper V3 Pro mouse that the kids wanted for Christmas that we got them,
Hmm.
they they feel like paper.
Paper.
Oh God.
They feel awful, and they feel even worse when you plug them in. They're designed
Because the
to be
cord is
played.
heavier than the mouse, man.
Yes. So
Ugh.
all the weight is on the very nose of the mouse and it feels disgusting.
But that's like no wonder it's also like it's preferred to play it with the dongle and wirelessly because yeah, plugged in it's god awful.
Yeah. It does
Mm.
to me it is not the kind of mouse that I would like. I personally use the Zowie FK1.
Zoe.
Yeah, I don't know how it's pronounced. It's either Zowie Zowie or Zowie, but it's a good mouse. It's got a good weight to it. Feels solid. It doesn't feel light. It fits my hand perfectly. If you ever go looking for a mouse, you should check out their website because it has like all these different models that have slight variations to suit your grip style, the size of your hand. If you have extremely large hands, they can adjust. They have different mice that are much larger. They have smaller mice for smaller hands, etc. If you like a claw grip versus like a palm grip, then they have a mouse for you. And they're all built with very high end sensors. I've been using mine for
They're
years now. It's
very
great.
good for FPSs.
Yes. Well, if in my opinion, if you want to look to the best mouse in existence for anything, you look to the game that uses the most precise and specific mouse. I know it sounds dumb, but in my opinion, wasted time clicking around my screen or trying to understand where my mouse is moving, that's wasted time. So I like, even when I'm not playing an FPS game, I like to have the sensitivity of my mouse very specific so that I am, when I move it and click, there's no wasted time. Maybe I'm just an over
You're definitely OCD with
engineerer,
stiff, but yeah.
but same reason I like my shortcuts. I love shortcuts. Keyboard and mouse is far superior to a controller solely because it has more keys and you can have more shortcuts.
I mean, that's why I like an MMO mouse is because
More
more
buttons.
buttons,
Yeah, makes sense.
and I use my buttons.
Like my Logitech mouse.
Logitech makes good mice,
Yeah,
I don't know
but
what I got.
I don't know what this new you know the mice that used to let you change the weights in it. They still have them. Yours might be like that. Your Logitech one,
It is.
Shane. Every time I got those, I always just put every weight in the mouse.
I've done that once, and it was super heavy. I didn't really like it, so I took them out, and now I've lost them.
So like I would go through phases where I would start with all of them out, then I'd add a little weight, and then I'd try it, and ultimately I would always add all of the weight back. I like the mouse to be heavy. It's just, I guess, a personal preference for me.
As Lizzie Hill would say, I like it heavy.
Yeah, that's also a really good song.
Yeah.
But I do. I like heavy keyboards. Like if I had to get into a fight, my keyboard would work as a baseball bat.
Well, thankfully, you don't have to get into a fight because the only person beside you is me. So we cool. We cool.
That was really loud. You
Okay.
screamed at me.
It's a good thing that we can equalize it.
No, but it's what I used to joke about because I worked in software. I spent 5 years working over at Capital One, and it's a bank, right? It's a banking entity. So we had CBTs, which are computer based trainings that we would have to take quarterly or whatever. And one of them was active shooter, right? How to handle an active shooter situation if it was to happen at the campus. And I used to always say, like, I'm going to take my keyboard and just deal with the situation if I have to. Like,
You can't
I
answer
used
that
to,
on a CBT. You'd fail.
no, 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 no. I always answered to CBTs the way they wanted to be answered. But the reality is, that keyboard close quarters is going to do some damage, man. It weighs a solid like 10 pounds. A good heft from it, it's like getting hit with a 10-pound
I
hammer
mean,
in the head.
they're pretty close to you. What chance do they really have to shoot you?
Yeah, I mean, technically, firearms are more appropriate in at range, right? That's why
Yeah.
every time I see a robbery or a thing on a TV show where they're putting the gun on the person's head, I'm like, that's really stupid. The only thing that really gives you an advantage with a bow, with a
It's
gun,
having some distance.
is having distance.
Dummies.
Yeah. Anywho,
That's a clip.
That's why I have an AR.
I mean, an AR's also not super great in close quarters.
Well,
Close
I'm just
quarters
gonna lay
being
in a
10
bush.
feet, sure, but close quarters being a foot, you don't want that. If you have a rifle or a shotgun or
I'll tell you
any
who it
of
did
those
work out
things,
for
you
though.
really don't want that. Huh?
Worked out for Kyle Rittenhouse when he went through that shit.
That was the thing with the cops like watching or whatever on the side with all the protests happening, and then the people started like chasing him or whatever,
Yeah.
yelling. Yeah, that whole ordeal. I don't know what transpired. The fact that there were cops on the side not actively trying to police, I mean, that to me is just a huge problem in
Not
of
even
itself.
just cops, military. National Guard was out there. Like it
I
was.
forget what was going on.
I don't
Like
remember.
why everybody was going crazy, but I know a lot of people were out there
There were people throwing bricks and being
trying to
yeah,
protect their stores and shit like that.
yeah, from
But I
looters.
forget what the protest was about.
I don't remember specifically. But I don't know.
I mean, it was about Black Lives Matter. It was during that whole time. Honestly, the kid shouldn't have been out there. It wasn't his place. He was honestly a child. He shouldn't have been there.
I think he was 17,
It's a
and
child.
yeah, I
As
think he
you
was
get older,
17.
18 feels like a child.
Yeah.
25 feels like a child.
Yeah, he was 17. He was from Illinois, but he was in Wisconsin. So apparently, I think he worked in Wisconsin. He was there trying to help protect the stores, but he shouldn't have had an AR in the first place.
No, he wasn't there. The
I
situation,
mean,
like he put himself in that situation.
but to be fair, if he didn't have the weapon, he potentially could be brain dead on a table somewhere because that happened to
There
a
was
number of
one guy
fucking
that
people
did
during
pull a
that whole thing.
pistol in his
No,
face.
people. That whole protesting shit shouldn't have happened. Like a whole lot of things shouldn't have happened. Small businesses should never be attacked during any of this bullshit because they're just trying to survive. They have families to take care of. Leave them the fuck alone.
Agreed. Yeah, I think targeting small business is not a great idea. There's plenty of WalMarts, you know,
For real.
and
Yeah,
they can
they
weather,
got fucking insurance for their stuff too.
right? They can weather it.
But small
Some,
businesses can't.
a lot of times, yeah, they can't afford to replace things and start over. Um, yeah, I mean, I think that whole ordeal was just not great. I think as a country, we need to get better about.
Respecting each other and honestly, kind of back to what you were saying. A lot of the reason why things are so crazy is because of perspective. People
Mhm.
only view the world from their own perspective. They don't take a minute to put themselves in someone else's shoes. And that goes for everybody, all likes of the world,
I
period.
also think we just need to get better as a society about our. There's going to be times where there's outrage, right? And I think we need to better place that rage.
Yes.
I don't mean in a violent sense, but like, what does targeting somebody's mom and pop shop have anything to do with some larger political motive?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. If they would have ransacked the Senate, it would have made a bigger statement than just hitting innocent people with things for no reason. Sneaking up on people and hitting them, breaking people's shit on their property that they have to replace, that they can't afford to replace. Like,
It's just fuck.
we need to get better at targeting our frustration so that actual good change can come of things that didn't do anything for anyone.
No,
Nothing.
communication is something the world does not know how to do. And it's what makes a relationship last. Honestly, good communication.
I'm just saying, if they rolled up in the Senate and threw like trash bags everywhere, not even like greatly defaced anything or caused lots of damage, it would have made a bigger political statement, in my opinion, and it would have been less traumatizing to everyone else in the community, right? I don't know. There's got to be a better way.
Agreed. Nope. You
Anywho,
got anything to chime in?
yeah, the comms are getting
Hmm.
quiet. What did
Is
I
Yeah.
do
that
wrong
gummy
in
hitting
this
you?
Rocket League match to make everyone so quiet?
What a whiff. What a
What
whiff.
shot did I miss?
That one.
Which one?
Mm, that one.
Where?
How?
Why?
When?
Who?
But
What?
how? But why? But why?
Oh, a how, a what, a why. I say, oh, a how, a what, a why. Maybe it's when, why. I don't remember the exact ones, but
Oh.
whatever. Close enough.
Yeah, I
Close
know.
enough. I love that movie. Master of Disguise was a fantastic
I don't think I've ever seen it.
movie. It is
What?
a
You're not
fantastic
turtly
movie.
enough for the Turtle Club, bro.
Turtle, turtle.
Thank
Dude, I
you.
don't watch any movies.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
Well,
watch
can't.
TV.
I can't.
if you start now, which I would strongly not advise, if you start now, you will run out in like 3 years. There's not that many good movies. I don't know. We're down to somewhere below B rated. But to be fair, it is one specific genre of movie, and that's horror. We're out of
Uh,
stuff.
Horrors
We're
are
out
pretty
of.
good. I like watching adventure or action movies too.
Some of them are okay.
I've watched all the
Like the
Marvel movies
Marvel.
in
Yeah.
order.
Yeah. I like the Marvel stuff because I read the comics, but a lot of the stuff they're doing now and some of the characters they're choosing and the fact that they're like just
Watching
rewriting their.
stories.
Well, they're just like.
Madam Web.
Yeah. I mean, Madam Web, the movie isn't a terrible movie, I don't think. Like, it has action elements to it, but they literally deleted the character's like storyline.
Yeah.
They just made her some paramedic that developed powers. But the reality is, like, Madam Web was born with some debilitating
Disease.
thing at birth and like couldn't move, like go places, and her father made some kind of machine to keep her alive. Like, it was very unfortunate. And then she acquired this gift. I don't remember exactly
Oh, it's like,
how,
yeah.
to see all the strands of time. And so she became this like oracle.
Assistant.
It was
The
kind of
name of
like an
this movie?
oracle,
Yeah.
Madam Web. But she becomes like an oracle to Spider-Man,
Like
and
that's
she
the
can see
original
the
story.
strands of fate and what will happen if this thing occurs or that thing occurs. So she can manipulate the strands of fate. It's an incredibly powerful ability, but she only got it because of her very unfortunate circumstances. And for them to eradicate that for the sake of making it more of an action movie, I think it was a horrible choice.
Yeah. They just took away from the actual story.
No, I think a lot of Marvel comics, I think a lot more people would get more out of the universe as a whole if they just read the comic. The movies are okay, but they change a lot of stuff. They change the actual storylines. They don't tie things in as clearly because it's all rushed. It's all to get you excited for your 1 hour and 30 minutes of entertainment, come to some conclusion that makes you want to watch the next one, and rinse and repeat forever until people are sick of it.
Yep,
So,
yep, yep.
I think what is it, Madam Web and some, like, not Draven, something the Hunter, which was another Marvel
Raven.
yeah, which was like another Marvel comic. I think both of those kind of flopped
Yeah.
in the box office. I don't really know as much about the other
I'm not
movie,
sure either.
but the Madam Web one, I remember when I
You know,
watched it, just
that.
the trailer. Huh?
Dang, what was the saying? That really grumbles my grumpiness.
I don't think that one's gonna stick. We're gonna have to come up with
Shh,
better.
shh, it's sticking. It's sticking.
I don't
Just
know.
add some glue.
I think it crumbled off.
Just add
Anyway.
glue.
Anyway. No, I think that I think would have been a very passionate movie for people who find themselves in unfortunate circumstances as a result of just how they were born, or
Yeah.
something that happened young, like early on in life. And then to see somebody like overcome such
And turn
adversity.
into such a powerful
Well, not
person.
only that, but stay good.
Yeah.
She's a good person. A lot of people develop resentment and hatred for able bodied normal people, or at least at some point, because they feel ostracized, they develop some kind of resentment. This person controls fate, essentially. She could certainly use that for bad,
I mean, yeah,
or for personal gain, but she doesn't. She uses it for the good,
that's true.
and to stay that true to yourself, being born in that unfortunate of a circumstance, not harboring resentment, developing some kind of ultra powerful ability, and then not using it for self gain. I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that still could have been a very cool movie. Unfortunately, the
That
studios that
story was
produced
not
it,
told.
yeah, they just decided that's not going to be an easy one. There's not enough action.
Yeah.
So she's now a paramedic who can run around, which is not at all the story of Madam Web. Uh,
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think maybe that just rubbed people the wrong way to some extent. For me, I said I don't want to watch this because they deviated from the comic book severely. It wasn't even like
Yeah.
just a little bit, like they went just off the rails. So yeah.
Mm.
And the way that they kind of did the Strands of Fate was weird. It was like something, it was almost Final Destination like,
Yeah.
where it was like something happened and she like lived it or something, but then if I'm not mistaken, I think it was something like that.
I really don't
I
know.
could be mixing up movies. So don't quote me on that. But I don't know.
But
Comic
that
books are
part,
always
yeah.
better. I think Marvel should go back to animations because I really liked the X-Men series. I used to love that.
Yeah. I know a little
Gambit was
kid who
actually
did
my
too.
favorite as a kid.
I know a little
Hey, mon
kid
ami.
who
And he would
also
throw the
likes
explosive
X-Men.
cards. But he was just like he'd be smoking his cigarettes. I remember Gambit. He'd smoke his cigarettes and he had his collar up. But he was French, but was yes and no. Like he didn't always speak in French because it's an American TV show. He would just say certain things like mon ami and whatever. So as a
Yeah.
kid, it was easy to follow. But I always thought Gambit was badass because he just had his ass whooping stick, and then he would charge the cards and throw them and blow them up. But he could also, like the large robots, he could just touch them and they would explode because his ability wasn't throwing cards; it was charging things.
Right.
But is there any good Gambit Marvel movies?
Haven't heard of none.
Gambit was awesome. Like he was just a cool character to me. I don't know his
Yeah.
backstory or nothing, but as a kid, I was like, yeah, he's cool. Yeah. And then of course, I think every kid kind of thought Wolverine was awesome, but that's just because his abilities were awesome. He
Yeah, I
was
just
always an
watched
a
the
hole.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
I
Deadpool
haven't
is a
seen
funny
it
one.
yet. I want to see it.
That's
Like
pretty
the
good.
Where
Yeah.
can you
No
watch it?
spoilers.
It's on Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
but Deadpool was also a good uh, one that I really liked in the comics, just because is his humor. He's funny. It's
Yeah.
really just the shit he says is just it's
No,
hilarious.
absolutely.
Um, Wolverine was always an a hole, but
Yeah.
like for a good reason.
Yeah.
But so any kid growing up that had that kind of that loner mentality, where it's like, fuck it, I'm me, I'm a loner, I guess. You resonated with Wolverine because
I mean, I knew of
he was a
X-Men and stuff,
loner by design.
but I
Yeah.
never. It wasn't something I read.
And then if you were military, you could resonate with Wolverine because he served in the military, fought alongside with Sabretooth, if I'm not mistaken.
I
Him and
connected
Sabretooth.
more with Captain America.
Okay. Patriotism.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a bouncy shield. He's indestructible. Well, I mean,
Cool
well,
ass
that and he
shield,
had
bro.
like super speed, super strength. He was
I
a
I know it, bro.
He
It's
was
bionic
a
stupid as
soldier.
product of the government.
fuck.
Honestly, he's like the Timu version of Superman. I'm just,
Fuck you, bro.
but well, I'm gonna say though, like DC, they kind of messed up with Superman, and I think Superman was a telling of how not to make a hero
Yeah.
because he was too good. They literally couldn't do anything except come up with some other random thing from some other planet, and they're like, well, a smart guy can fit this into weapons, and that could be how he gets tricked, and his good can be used against him. But he's faster than a train. Like he can stop a train. He can fucking catch bullets. Like, come on, man. He had X-ray vision, laser eyes. He was bulletproof in spandex. Like
Hey, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty
that
sure
was
there
the
was like.
hero though that kind of broke the mold of a hero. And then they said, wait a second, a hero's not that good without a villain. And then
Right.
they had to introduce Lex Luthor. because they ran out of all the bank robberies on trains and the silly things where Superman would just show up and bend the pistol backwards or catch a bullet and then they were instantly
Yeah.
arrested. It really wasn't fun. There wasn't the tension, the push and pull that
Right.
makes it engaging. So
Yeah.
they introduced Lex Luthor and kryptonite, which was Superman's weakness. So Lex Luthor used his super intelligence to make cages out of kryptonite, to make robots, to use the fact that if Superman couldn't have sun, he couldn't recharge. So he'd trap him in things where the sunlight was not available and he was useless. But even in that sense, they missed the mark because the tension wasn't, it's just not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you have the X-Men and they all have some kind of ability, and then you have, that whatever Magneto's force was, and what's funny is they were both working towards the same things, but always fought with each other because they had different
Perspectives.
Yeah.
perspectives and objectives, right? Professor X wasn't trying to make the world mutants. But Magneto and his crew were like, well, we're mutants and they want to attack us all the time, so we're going to make everybody mutant. Like they
Yeah.
had different objectives, but ultimately, Professor X and Magneto were in the same school. They were like best friends.
Yeah.
And then everything plays out. Like there was so much more tension and back and forth because each X-Men had a strength and a weakness. And then there was a lot intermingled with it. Like that was a really good, engaging storyline.
Yeah.
Superman, not so much. Batman,
No.
however, really is what's made DC.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. You can't tell nobody, okay?
What?
Okay, this is definitely not live. Well, I mean, it's not live, but go.
I'll tell you a secret. I have got a humongous Superman symbol tattooed on my back.
Nice.
No, it's just the outline. Because I never got it finished, so it's gonna be an easy cover up. But it spans like shoulder to shoulder and like 13 inches down my back.
That's awesome, dude. Why didn't you get
Motherfucker,
it
it's
done?
not. No, because it's not fucking awesome.
Yeah, my
Hey,
question
at
was
least
why
it's
you
on your back
started.
and not on your chest.
I- that is true. I've always joked. I said I was gonna get cross heel across my chest, which is where I'm from. But Cat tells me that I can't get it, so
I mean, in my opinion, your body, your canvas.
my
But,
body, my canvas.
however, I also understand happy wife, happy life. There's some kind of in between there.
But I also believe in equal rights, equal fights.
And technically, being married, 50% of anything you own, I guess including your own body, is not yours.
That's true.
But doesn't the government technically own your body? That's why we have social security numbers.
Yeah, and
You can
birth
try.
certificates
They
or currency.
pretend they do. But I mean, they pretend they have control
We
over our
are their
bodies to a
slaves.
degree. But in theory, no. Technically, they don't. Are there ramifications from not abiding by societal norms? Yes. But it's still technically your body. If you don't like a mole, you can go get it removed. You can remove it yourself. There's less painful and more painful ways. you know, technically, no one owns your body but you.
Fact.
But I do like the debate on the happy wife, happy life thing, and then things like you bringing up wanting this type of tattoo and your wife being adamantly opposed.
Oh yeah, no, she
I got a
actually.
tattoo covered up a few years ago because somebody didn't like it, and then here we are now. feel
I mean,
like
a
it was
tattoo's a
useless.
tattoo. It is
I
what it
guess it
is.
depends on when it just depends on what kind of tattoo it is.
Now just turn it into another one. Whatever. Wee.
That's true.
I, I
Just be
had
a
one
constant, ever evolving canvas.
Yeah. I that's what I always say. I kind of like tell people that you're like with tattoos, it's like my stained glass. It tells the story about me.
Yeah.
So like that's how I do all my tattoos now.
Well, I'm a little fucked on that one.
No, it tells the story, bro. It's your
What
stained glass, like
what is my koi
everything.
fish telling about me?
Look it up. What does a koi fish signify? And then find out what it could do.
I got a
What it,
few of them that I got my daughter's birth flower on my calf muscle.
Yeah.
okay,
And
yeah,
then I like astrology, and I have her sign on my forearm along with my sign.
okay.
And then I used to like working on cars and shit, so like on my left arm, about half my arm, I have like half a sleeve covered in like gears and shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
So, as Nuke said, it's it's your
Yeah, I was
stained
just going
glass.
off the koi fish. The koi fish and the one that I have on my rib really have
Yeah.
nothing to do with me.
You
I
I
do
sure?
mean,
like
that
koi
may be
fishes. Koi
true,
fishes are very pretty fishes, so I was like, yeah, I'll use that for a cover up.
but maybe that's not maybe that's not really it though. Like, why did you choose a fish? Why did you want an aquarium? Maybe you find harmony and peace or something
I'm a Pisces
in
baby.
just
Fishes.
and maybe that's what it is. But
I can't
maybe
keep
you
fish alive
have
though.
that might be true. Maybe you just need more education in the space. But if you have a natural affinity and you find fish peaceful, then that actually does explain why you have a koi fish.
What
I like fishing.
color is it?
Um, it is red and orange and yellow.
Red, orange, and yellow.
Yes.
So in Japanese culture, red signifies love, passion, and energy. And the gold yellow is wealth and prosperity.
That's what it means. What it
Yeah.
means to those people.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
I do love
Uh
some traditional Japanese tattoos though, and I want to do my whole right leg like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think
it signifies strength and perseverance, good luck and prosperity, transformation and ambition, balance and harmony.
yeah, so whatever you want it to be, essentially.
Yeah.
um and I mean, I could definitely see somebody seeing fish as being very harmonious and soothing,
Yeah.
right? I think that's why people have aquariums is
Fish are very
because
fascinating creatures.
They are. They're cool as shit, yeah.
barracudas are terrifying, dude. I don't know. Depends on the
Barracuda.
fish, dude. I'm not gonna go
I
pick
I
up
love
think
an
some gar.
anglerfish.
what I'm gonna do whenever I buy another house, I'm gonna get like 100-gallon tank and get a baby shark.
Baby shark do
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 do do
What are you
do
just gonna
do.
feed it animals or something? What's the plan there?
Yeah, he's gonna drop a mouse in there.
Dude, I have no idea. I just think it'd be cool to have a 100-gallon tank with a baby shark.
Well, let me do you a solid here and say if you're not going to get the education beforehand, then also make sure you have the money to have somebody who comes over and can at least help you take
I'm gonna
care of the
most
fish.
definitely do my research on that one before I waste all that money.
Because that's a very expensive investment.
It
And
is.
a shark, you said a baby shark, which means it's going to
Do
grow.
do 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 do.
It's going to grow and
You
it's
know,
going to be large. And
cool
big
thing about
sharks, they need
fishes
lots of
and like
food.
reptiles and shit, they only grow as big as their environment, which
Yeah.
kind of
Knowing your
is.
luck, it would grow to the exact size of the environment, dude. Like, it'd be like 100
Uh,
gallon tank, 100-foot fish.
nah, man, I'd be fucked. Try getting that one out. That would be terrible.
No, but I'm just saying that would be your luck. You'd be like, it won't grow, but so big because it's confined, right? And then it'd just be like taking up the whole fucking space. And you'd be like, I think we have a problem here.
Alrighty, that's where we're going to call it for today, everyone. See you every Friday. Just remember, it's more than cannabis and coffee, it's a mindset. Whether you see us or hear us, you're part of the crew, and we want to hear from you. So make sure you reach out via Facebook, X, or Instagram, which you can find all at our website, cannabiscoffeecrew.com. Later.